Mm. Made as a host. Yeah, good. Yes, guys. This is a demo, like just to give you the overview of the what Java's full stack and what we are going to cover. And more, I'll be discussing about the TOC and what's currently it's happening and like now the AI tools, how what are the AI tools are currently market is using, and I'll try to show that what we can do with the AI tools. And as a Java full stack developer, what are the tools or what are the uh, uh, IDEs we need to get familiar with that. This is what I'm going to discuss. This demo will be so around 35 to 40 minutes. So if any point of time, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. Yeah. Um, Before we start, so I'm Lakshman and I have a more than 18 years experience in Java J2W technologies. And I work for a product-based company. So like no morning, every day, 1.5 hour, I would be conducting these Java sessions. This is about the a brief introduction about myself. Okay. Uh, Comes to the Java full stack. So first we need to get familiar with the what are the softwares we are going to use it, what are the tools we are going to use it. We should get familiar with that. That we call it as a dev environment. Like no, you need to do the dev setup. Okay, in your mission, we need to do the dev setup. So when you are doing the dev setup, the main things every developer must aware of the first tool is Git and GitHub. This is a GitHub is a the cloud version, GitHub or Bitbucket. So we should get familiar with the how to use the version control system. Like whenever you are working in a team, the people will be sitting in different corners. Some people will be working remote. Some people will be sitting overseas, and some people will be sitting in office. And everybody has to collaborate. And at the end of the day, they have to push the code, pull the code changes, and then the somebody has to review the code. These are the basic things. The moment you start working on any project, you would be doing that here. So first, we will get start with our discussion with the Git and GitHub how it works. So how you are going to push the code, pull the code when there is a merge conflict, two people works on the same file. How are you going to resolve that? Then how to create a PR, and when the PR comments has given, how you are going to resolve that. So these are the basic fundamental things we would be learning about the GitHub. Yeah. And once you done that here, the next thing you are going to install the JDK. Okay. What are the latest JDK you have? Like now, currently it is a 22. Yeah. So maybe every 6 months they would be releasing the one new version. They will be releasing that, and whatever the latest version, we will upgrade, and we are going to use the particular JDK version you are using. And whenever they are releasing the version every month, every 6 months, one version, we need not to learn about entire Java. There are some certain features they would be adding. If really that features will help you in your project, then you may go and upgrade your project. Otherwise, no, you will continue the what other version it is. So JDK 22 is the latest version. We would go with the latest version we are going to discuss. And then to work with the Java, uh, using the notepads and executing your Java programs, that practically in your workplace you will not do that. You would be using the one of the IDs. You would be using that here. It can be a Eclipse or JetBrains. They have got the IntelliJ idea. So we would be using the IntelliJ idea. We are going to use it here. Okay. IntelliJ idea we would be using this here. This is the IDE. And here they have got the two versions. One is a community edition. Another one is a ultimate edition. So we would be using the community edition. That is good enough for us to learn the Java. Then we have we have something called the when you are working with the projects, your data needs to be when you're working with the projects, we will be working with the database. Okay, we will be working with the database. These databases also, again, we have relational databases and NoSQL databases we have here. And we would work with the two databases. One is the relational databases. We would be using the relational database called the PostgreSQL. Okay, PostgreSQL, we would be using that here. And then there is a no SQL database, something we call it as a MongoDB. Okay, there is a database name called the MongoDB. This is no SQL database. We will use the MongoDB. These two databases, when you're learning, we are going to use the cloud services. You would be using that here. Here we would be using the cloud service called the Mongo Atlas. Mongo Atlas we would be using. Here we are going to use there's something called the render.com. How Amazon offers the GCP and Amazon offers the services. This render is going to offer as a database as a service, they would be offering that. We are going to use these cloud services you would be using, and we are not going to install on your local machine, because anyhow we have a cloud instances. We will try to connect with the cloud database instances, and we'll see that here. Like from your local machine, you need to use the DB client. Okay, one database client we need to install, DB client. And the most popular DB client is there is something called the dviewer. Okay, this is a dviewer is a database client, universal database client. It can connect with the any relational databases. dviewer, this is a one dviewer you would be using that here. You can see here what is this dviewer. If you're asking here about dviewer, so it will say that here it is a universal database manager. So where you can connect with the these are the most commonly used databases in the market. And you can see that here these many databases are available. So we are going to it's highly impossible to learn every database, and we would take one database and we are going to learn about the by using the SQL concept, how to connect with the database, how to insert the queries, delete the data, sorry, insert the data, deleting the data. These all basic CRUD operations you would be performing. And not only CRUD, sometimes we have to do the indexing and how to do joins. Those all these things we would be learning as a part of the SQL. So I'll speak about that. And here, these two databases, we would be using the cloud services to connect with that. We are going to use the dviewer. We are going to use it here. Okay. So dviewer is a universal database. Sorry, this is a typo. dviewer is a universal EVA dviewer. Okay, universal database. You are going to use it here. This is the one thing we are going to install. Whatever you are installing, everything is the free versions. We are going to use it here. And when you are working with the UI, we are going to use the Visual Studio Code, VS Code. Visual Studio Code, another tool which is required. We need to install that. And then we will be working with the build tools called the either Maven or a Gradle. So we are going to use the Maven. We are going to use it here. And I'll be explaining about the what is a Gradle and how this Gradle works. So these things we would be discussing. And then you are going to install the Docker. Okay, so in order to package your project Dockerization, we are going to do that here. For that, we need a Docker. We need it here. So these are the basic tools or softwares we need to install as a part of the dev setup. And you need to create two accounts. One is a GitHub account. GitHub account, you're going to create it here. Another one is in render.com. You are going to create an account. And these two accounts you would be creating. And one is to maintain your source code repository. And there is another one, Mongo Atlas as well. Yeah, this is a Mongo Atlas, another Mongo Atlas. Okay, this is the three places you have to register with them. And we would be using these cloud services. You are going to use it. This is a basic dev setup and the tools and what are the cloud services we are going to use it as a full stack development. As a part of this course, these are the basic things is required. Okay. So for any questions, does anyone has any questions? Yeah, if you don't have any question, you can go on mute. Yeah. Otherwise, if you have a questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Don't worry if you are not familiar with this and if you never heard about these words, these all the tools. Anyhow, we are going to install one by one and we will be discussing about that. Yeah. So once you are done these things, like now our program discussion starts with the, as I mentioned, that Git, then followed by the, I'll be discussing about the core Java. Okay. This is a core Java. Like now, when it comes to the Java, it's a core Java, our convenience, we'll say that here. There is some three things we can say it here: JSC, JEE, and JME. Java Standard Edition, Java Enterprise Edition, and Java Micro Edition. Like the Standard Edition is nothing but we call it as a core Java. By using this Java SE, we can develop a standalone application, desktop applications. You can develop that here. And as a part of the core Java, like to learn any programming languages, what are the fundamental concepts? What is the programming? What is a compiler? And how do you compile your program? When you compile, what happens to that program? How to run that program? These all basic concepts will be discussed in the part as a part of the core Java. And this core Java covers the most of the fundamental concepts, like how to write a basic hello world example. It starts with the basic hello world example, and how to use the IntelliJ IDEA, like IDE, how we are going to use it, how to create a Maven project, that how do you convert Maven project to the multi-module project. So then how do you build that project? These all fundamental concepts will be covered in core Java. So the main focus is given on the uh, programming basics, like how to use the if, for, while, do, okay, do while, and then we are going to some of the break and continue, like this. All the fundamental concepts you'll be learning. Then object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming, where it will covers the abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, so interfaces concept. Those all concepts we'll be discussing in object-oriented programming. We are going to discuss. Then you will be discussing about the collections, exceptions, okay, threads, okay, exception, threads, and then IO operations. Okay, IO operations. How do you do that here? These are the fundamental uh, the Java, whatever you are going to work on the enterprise applications. These are the basic things it's required. And then when you are learning this core Java concepts, we will be also discussing about the how to do the JUnit. What is the unit testing? How you are going to do the unit testing of your program. So these things will be discussed, and uh, every day you will be doing the few assignment questions. You will be given every day. You will be given some assignment questions along with the classroom examples. Okay, once you get familiar with the JUnit 5, now then we will be learning about the SQL. Okay, this is SQL. You'll use the Postgres SQL. You are going to use it here. So the Postgres SQL you will be using to learn the SQL, where you will be covering the as a Java developer or a full stack developer, you need to write a queries. At times you need to write a queries, and so when you're writing the queries, if there is a queries are not executing properly, we have to debug that. How to do writing the queries and how we are going to debug. So it can be a simple query, it can be a complex query, like how to use the joins, and there are inner join, left outer join, right outer join. What is the difference between them? Writing the subqueries and using the SQL functions. All SQL fundamentals will be covered here. and we would be using the database called the PostgreSQL. You are going to use it here. And if you are already working in some company or you want to switch to the like no from PostgreSQL to the some other database you want to connect, you can connect. And same commands can be used here and there. The syntax will be different. This SQL is the SQL group. It has they have given the standards to the all the relational databases. Most of the relational databases will follow the SQL group. And never ask the somebody asks that they generally they don't ask that do you know PostgreSQL, do you know MySQL or Oracle. They will ask you do you know SQL. When you if you know SQL, you can go on comfortably work with the any relational databases. And here we are also introducing the MongoDB. What is a MongoDB? And this is a we are going to use the Mongo Atlas. We are going to use it here. Mongo Atlas. We are going to use it here. There is something called the Compass is a IDE where we can execute the our Mongo queries and all these things. So we would be using the Compass. We are going to use it here. Okay. And then next one is once you're done with that, then we are going to learn about the database. Okay, we learn about the databases, we learn about the core Java. Now I have my Java application. This Java application needs to talk to the my database. It could be a relational databases or it could be a no SQL database. I'm just speaking about the SQL database. My application, this application needs to talk to the my database. It needs to talk to this database. Okay, it has to talk to this is the database. It needs to talk to that here. In order to talk to these databases, in between, we are going to introduce a API layer called the JDBC. Okay, there is something called the JDBC. By using this JDBC from your Java application, you are going to talk to the relational database. So in order to talk to these databases, you have to write the queries, and that queries you would be writing in a SQL. And when you develop this application, if that application needs to use the database, so you must use the JDBC API. So this JDBC API will provide the methods and the APIs to connect with the databases. By using that API, you would connect and you are going to perform the all DB operations you would be performing. The way you are doing the DB over, the similar thing you would be do through your application. So once you get familiar with this, then you are going to learn about the UI. Okay, during this process, like no, the commonly used file systems, like no, you would be using the file systems called the JSON. There is a JSON, there is a YAML, properties, Excel, CSV, PDF. These are the common file formats we would be using in any most of the applications. So JSON data, ML and properties and Excel, CSV and PDF. How to read the CSV, how to read the YAML, how to read JSON, property file, Excel file, how we are going to read it and how to write that data back to the files, JSON files or YAML files. We will be learning. Here we are going to learn the Java alone, you cannot develop the project. Like no, you need to use the lot of third-party libraries. How to get familiar with the third-party libraries? Okay, so when you are using the JSON, you are going to use the Jackson library, or you may use the faster XML. Sorry, Jackson library, or Google has given the JSON. There is another library, and YAML. When you are working with that, you are going to work with the Snake YAML is a library. When you are working with the Excel, you are going to work with the library name called the Apache Poi. And CSV, you can use the open CV or some other equivalent library. PDF, you are going to use it here, iText and PDF box. Then we have got the Apache FOP. There are multiple libraries are available. Depends on the project, and you would be choosing the one of those libraries, and we are going to develop. You are going to develop a application where we would be reading the data from the YAML file or JSON file, property file, Excel, CSV, and how to generate a PSV. Suppose you are working in a billing project where you need to prepare invoices. The invoice has to be sent it as a PDF. How to do that? Those things you will get familiar with when we are discussing these topics. So with this knowledge, now you can decide whether you want to go it as a Java full stack developer, or you want to go it as an Android developer, or you want to go test automation side. So once you complete this part, then you have got the three options. So going it as a full stack developer, going it as a Android developer, going it as uh, the Selenium developer, the test automation side. If you are going here, these are the you must have the skills. Okay, you must have the skills. Once you got the skill set, now you can choose this path. So Android or Selenium developer or Java full stack developer. So if you are going it as a Java full stack developer, then you would be learning about the UI. Okay, then here we are going to see that here HTML, CSS, okay, JavaScript, Bootstrap, okay, Bootstrap, and these are the main things you would be learning about that here: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the Bootstrap. By using this, you can develop the static web pages. You can develop, and not only static web pages. Like no, you will be learning about the how to communicate with the backend APIs. Once you fetch the data, how we are going to handle when failure case. How do you handle that? So those are the basic things you will be learning in a UI. Once you got familiar with the UI, now this is a place where you can focus on the enterprise grade applications. So this is what you are going to work eventually once you enter into the companies. No, so this place we will give you the a little introduction about the servlets and JSPs, and like no to get familiar with the what
Sir,
is. Yeah, go ahead, please.
will you be teaching React.js also or not?
Uh, we are teaching the Angular, not React.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So that I'll tell you that. Yeah, servlets and JSPs where we are going to introduce you to get familiar with the what is the request, what is the response, and how the servers are going to receive the request, and how it is going to respond back to the client request. These things we will be teaching in the servlets and JSPs. Followed by that, we will get start with the framework called the Spring framework. Okay, this Spring framework, we will create a we will start with the Spring Boot. Okay, this is a de facto standard for any Java applications whenever the people are starting in new projects. So most of them are going with the Spring Boot. Okay, the Spring Boot will help us to create a Spring-based applications. And the Spring also has got the lot of modules. Uh, the main modules are core module, core. Then we have a AOP, MVC, and we have something called the JPA. J we'll go with the JDBC, JPA. Okay, security. We have got these are the like no, there are other modules also, email module, like okay, email modules, like then we have other modules as well. But most commonly used modules are the core, AOP, MVC, JDBC, JPA, security, and email. So here the core is going to cover that here. What is the dependency injection? What is the inversion of control? How it works? And this is the crux of the Spring framework. And then on top of that, like AOP, when you take that here, the cross-cut concerns, once application is developed, you want to introduce this some new security or like no some features you want to introduce without making the changes in the existing code. So then you would be using the options called the AOP. You are going to use it here. Then there is something MVC, like model view controller. So how to develop the MVC applications? Like we just get the introduction about the MVC, but we are going to develop the most of the times we are developing the RESTful web services. Okay, we'll be developing the RESTful web services. What is a web service and how to build a RESTful web services? You are going to learn about that here. So once you are done with that RESTful services and JDBC, everything, you get familiar with this Spring framework, then finally we are going to learn the uh, either, yeah, this batch we will be introducing the React. Okay, instead of Angular, we will go with the React. And this React, don't expect that you are going to cover the entire React course. Like, no, as a full stack developer, React, like, no, what is the React application? How do you build that here? How component communication will happen? How to consume these RESTful web services and how to develop a application. These are the concepts you would be learning in the React. We are going to learn about that. Yeah. So React or Angular. So this batch we will go with the React. Yeah. We will go into the React and we will see that here. Once you get familiar with the React and all these things here, now you build a application. Now, how do I deploy this application? Like, during the deployment, what are the steps I need to take that here? Once I did that deployment, once I develop this application, the application has to be run somewhere. No, it has to be go and deploy somewhere. Like, no, then this is the place where we will get familiar with the how to use the how to create a Docker image. Okay, how to work with the Docker images. We'll learn about that here, and how to deploy that here. Okay, here we are going to see that here. We will build the Docker images, and we will deploy these Docker images to the render. Okay, render.com, we registered the account with them. They offer the even Docker images also. You can go on to deploy. This is not, they are not going to charge you anything. This is the hobby projects can be developed in like, what are the hobby projects we developed in order to publish your APIs and to expose outside world. You can deploy this into the render.com, and where you can say that, hey, this is what I have done that, and you can put it in your profile, or you can yeah, you can, like, when in during the interviews you can say that, no, hey, this is what I built. If somebody asks, you can just open that link and you can show that what are the APIs you created and where your source code is there, how you build this application. It will, you can explain confidently if you develop that application and if you deploy that. Okay, these are places where you can say that, no, the CI and CD tools, like, no, you would be discussing about that here. And here, once you deploy that here, how you are going to see the logs, like, now if the application crashes and if application is not working as expected, how to see the logs and how we are going to debug that. So those are all these things we would be discussing at the end of the course. And during this course, you will be introduced to the IDE, how we are going to debug, and like, no, so including the uh, whenever the application, there are if application logic is very complex at times, the logic may not work. Like, you have to know, you should have the debugging skills. Those debugging things also we will be explaining that here. The how the source code and the course will be maintained is here. This is what something like this. Whenever we start the batch, we will start with the core Java, and then followed by the, like, no, whatever you are learning of the concept. Each concept will have the one module, and that module we will be coding that here. Suppose if you look at there's something called the learning core Java, where we are going to have the all the core Java concepts. Okay, all the core Java concepts, whatever we learn, these are the core Java concepts mainly. And these examples, whatever examples I'm doing in a classroom, these all are like, no, it's not like, no, before it's coded, like, no, on the fly we are going to code. Everything will be coded, and the same code will be pushed to the GitHub, and GitHub link will be shared. You can pull that code and you can see the latest one. And, like, you would be having the assignment. Suppose if you are taking here, okay, if I'm doing here is, so there are places where I may not give the, yeah, you can see that here, like, no, instrument and instrument manager, and I will be giving the explanation about that. So you are going to do these assignments like this. You have even projects as well. Suppose if you are taking the quiz, IPL stats, there are a lot of applications are there. There is a quiz app. Okay, so this quiz app you would be developing that here. This is as assignment is, it is asked. Now to do app, Okay, this is a to-do app, how to develop that here. Like uh, what are the services, what are the APIs you are going to build that here. Like what are the applications we build, those applications also we'll be sharing with you. Okay. So these days, everybody is speaking about the AI. Like, what are the AI tools? Are we going to use it? And if you are asking that here, there is a term now these days, everybody is speaking about the wipes code. Okay. And here we are going to use the GitHub Copilot. This a GitHub Copilot will help us in suppose if I'm asking this something, just let me show you that here, just glimpse of the what is a GitHub Copilot does that here. Now here I'm going to hello world example. Okay, I think hello world I can disturb, no problem. Here we are going here and there I'm going to hello world example I'm writing here. This is a place where I'm writing here. I'm writing a create a method to method to print prime numbers in range range. Okay, this is the one I'm asking here. Now you see here it is generated the code and it is asking the to check the prime number. Hey, this is the logic you have to write it that it said that here. That's it. I not even single line I have written here. What I want, I just ask that here. Then it has generated the code and I need to go through this code whether it is generated properly or not. Just I need to cross check once. If you feel that it is fine, then you are done with that. The fundamental things, the basic things, AI does the much better than the what we do because they have trained very well and they have huge data and very optimized code also it is going to give that here. This is the way you can the code completion it can give that here. Now wind stuff is the one which I am using, which is a free. GitHub Copilot, you need to pay some amount. So instead of that here, I'm using the wind stuff I'm using here, where you tell that no, it is going to read and your comments and finally it's going to code. Suppose this method you are not happy about this here. Okay, if I'm going to the okay, this is the one. I'm saying that here optimize code. I'm asking the optimize code. What it can optimize, you can see that here. Okay, you are speaking about that here. It is analyzing. I don't know. This code is okay. I think it did not take this code. Let me put it here. Okay, let me stop that here. Claude or okay, let it use the Claude. Okay, let me add the new one. Okay. Some reason this is not allowing me to put anything. Okay, now it is allowing me. So this is a place where I'm saying that here optimize code. I'm saying that optimize code. It is going to generating that here, optimizing prime method. Let's first check this current implementation. It is checking that here. Here is optimized code. It is editing my code. It said that here, hey, you can do this approach. Number 2 or 3, true, you written that here. Then you are going to do this here, this one. If you like it, this code, you accept this. If you don't like, you can reject that here. See, this AI is going to help us. The moment I write the code, this is going to help us like this. And this is a the either GitHub Copilot or Windstop, which any one of them. There are multiple things are available. There is another one is there is something called the cursor. This cursor is a also same thing. They charge per month $20. They will charge. Suppose if you are taking here cursor new, okay, file. Uh, we are going to open the, yeah, you are going to open the folder. We'll create a one folder called the, okay, let me create it as a new folder. This folder name is, I'm going to say it as a uh, sample resume, sample CV. I'm going to create it here and just close open. And now nothing is available. Now here I'm going to ask that here agent, we are going to make it here. I'm asking the create a simple HTML bootstrap page to present to create a user profile. That's nothing but the CV with proper styling. Okay, just I'm asking that here. Hey, you create a this a one, and now you see here the code is generating. I'm not doing anything, just I'm watching that here. It's keep on going and doing something. Let it do. Okay, it is created the index.html page. Now I am going to accept all. It generated the basic thing it generated here. It generated the basic thing index.html page it generated. Now, if I'm open in a live server, if I'm opening with a live server, the code, whatever it generated, you can see that here. This is a code which is generated here. Hey, John, then profile pic, it is missing about me, the contact and skills and like, you can see work experience, senior developer, education, projects, like properly generated. What is a LinkedIn profile and all those things. So now here you want to get it in a React or something you are asking, then it is going to generate in React. Now what I'm asking is that here simple thing. Okay. Hey, keep CSS in a separate file with the folder name CSS. Okay. Now I'm going to ask that here. Okay. Just it is asking me to create a, this is since it is a agent and it is listening to me because he is my kind of assistant, we can say that here. Now I'm saying that here run command and it's going to create a CSS file. Then it is going to move all this code to the CSS. It is going to move that here. Okay, index.html page, it is going to make modification. Just we are going to say that accept. There is nothing different, just it is moving that code to the CSS. It is moved that here. That's it. Now, if you go back and see that here, it would be the same output. There is no change. Only thing is that it moved to the CSS into the separate file. It is moved here. These AI tools are very powerful. Like no, this if even if you are coding manually, it may take at least half day. Now, once you have a skeleton is ready, then on top of that, what exactly you want, if something is wrong here, you are going and fixing that here. This is what people are speaking about the wipes code. Like it's really, really powerful. Like you can ask the entire application, end-to-end application, you can ask that here. These are the things it is going to generate that here. Yeah. You can debug, you can write the test cases, you can do whatever you want. You can ask that here and it's obligated to answer you and it will answer. Either it's right or wrong. The things may be right, but at times it may miss the small logics. As a developer, we need to carefully take that code and you have to run that and you have to like no, you can write the test cases by taking the help from the wipes code, the cursor or equivalent of that. But still, as a developer, you have to insert that, hey, this is what I want. This is the way I want to display that here. These all instructions you have to give to this. Otherwise, it won't know what to generate that. So now this will help you increase the productivity and whatever you are doing the day's work, it may done it in hours. This is the way the AI tools are helping in the coding as well. So we will get familiar with the some of the places we will generate the code by using the these are the things, and how to accept the code, how to reject the code, how to go back to the previous point. Those all these things I would be discussing in this course. Yeah. So that's all I want to give you the overview of the what things we are going to cover in this Java full stack. These are the things we will be covering that. Any questions? Does anyone has any questions? And don't get scared about the, oh, AI is generating all these things, and like, no, what is I'm going to do that here? You have to tell the AI, hey, this is what you need to do that. No? But number of people may not, maybe less number of people is required, and you would be doing the things. But to maintain this code also, people, you need people, no? Yeah, go ahead, guys.
I'm not much into the programming, so I'm just will it be a very fast phase, or will you make us deploy the things? Then, sorry, um,
No, it will
like
start
how?
for programming fundamentals. It will start. It is going to be starts from the very, very fundamentals. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I missed the beginning. May I know your name?
Lakshman.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all, guys. So hope you learned something from me this last 40 minutes, whatever we spent. If you don't have any questions, we can wind up that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.